Right, so we're out here today on the Ridge 9. Um, Very simple today, just for 9 holes. I'm just gonna work on my new swing, and I'm just gonna talk a little bit about, I'm working hard on trying to get better rotation on the way back and on the way through. I tend to early extend, so I'm gonna just play regardless of the result. I'm just going to try and hit as many shots using the correct technique and using the right feeling through the ball. I'm not going to revert back, and this is the whole point of this lesson. So let's see how it goes, and we'll hit a few shots, and hopefully you'll start to see that if you do stick to that shot and you don't go back to your old ways, it's going to be tough in the beginning, but you'll probably be able to better yourself a lot quicker if you just stick to that pre-shot routine and that feeling. Yep. The feeling I'm getting is a nice on the way through. It's going to be pulling that left hip back instead of letting it push forward, and then I usually save it with my hands. So let's see how it goes. It's straight. It'll do. Lovely, nice and straight. So I've got 110 here on the first hole. Slightly downwind, down breeze, but one thing I want to note is here I'm actually not trying to fire the hips as hard when I'm hitting a pitch shot. I'm more trying to just control the lower half and use more upper body. So you'll see a complete difference between the long irons and the driver versus my wedges. I'm trying to control lower half so that I can get that impact and the strike point a lot closer and a lot more consistent so that I get a very good strike, which is the most important thing when you are pitching. Not my best, but we got away with it. So even though didn't really hit any of those perfectly, we still managed to make pass, so even with any weird feeling. Just that par is good enough for me, and hopefully I can, hopefully I can just stick it out and be patient, and we'll make a few good scores. Here's a hole which I'm generally not comfortable with anyway. Most of the trouble's on the right. I know my miss at the moment is a little bit right when I do get it wrong, so I'm just gonna go at that bunker, and I'm just gonna trust that feeling. And if it doesn't work out for me, it's okay. We're not focusing on score. We're just gonna stick to this new move and see how regularly we can complete it, and hopefully the strike will come a bit later if we keep repeating. Yep, I've hit that exactly where I was aiming, just a bit left, but I'm happy with that. The move felt good. We've ended up in the bunker, which is not a bad thing because that's where I was aiming off the tee. So yeah, I've got 110 yards again into this par 4. Same thing, and try and limit my lower half of this shot out the bunker and just try and catch it very cleanly. Try not to hit the sand. Ball first, nice smooth swing. Make sure I strike it. That was a lovely strike. Sit down. Yeah, that's very good. I'll take that. Okay, so left ourselves a little bit past the pin with a bit of a tricky putt. Um, there was water ahead, and I was accounting for a bad, like a missed strike out that fairway bunker. So anything past the pin and with a putt for birdie is a good result for me. And at least I've given myself a chance. This is a big left to right swinging putt. So there's two things I'm going to do. I'm going to look at the color of the grass, and I know it's shiny, so it's downhill and shiny, which means it's down grain. It's going to be really fast. I've already been to the hole. There's a burn mark on the right hand side of the hole. I know it's going to swing left to right. So I'm just going to pick my spot. And then once I've picked my spot, I'm just going to have a few practice strokes looking at where I want to roll this ball over and trying to imagine what speed I'm going to roll it over that spot at. For me, the most important thing here is the speed. It's a lovely pace, very good two putt. I'll take the four. Again, good result. Hit the ball where I wanted to off the tee. I missed it in the right spot. Had a tough second shot, but just played safe, made sure I was on the green and past the pin, and just needed to make one good putt really to secure that pass. So happy days, very good result after that tee shot. Okay, so the index one, you can see why there's a lot of trouble. It's into the wind as well, just to add insult to injury. So again, I'm just going to aim it at those left bunkers. I know at the left bunkers it's safe. Stick with that feeling. I know I'm not hitting it the best, but I'm just going to stick with it. I'm going to really trust that feeling and then just try and repeat it every single time. Good rhythm on this one. I'm going to hit it a bit softer into the wind so it doesn't go up and spin. So let's give this a go. That's okay, not too bad. So long way in still. We have 200 yards. My ball has just bounced off into the hazard. I can't get the tripod to stand, so I'm just going to drop one here. Um, yeah, so just going to go front right of the green, not going to try hit it on because it's too long into that wind. Taking a 5-iron and just playing it safe, and hopefully I can up and down for my bogey. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, good distance. That was a better strike, so I got it there. But yeah, exactly like I wanted, just on the right side of the green. And I've given myself the chance at a 5. So yeah, you can see why I didn't want to miss left. There is a very big drop off on the left hand side here, so I'm happy with where I've left it. Um, see that's that big slope that drops off into the creek there, so I'm just going to leave the camera behind. I'm just behind, just off the green. I'm just going to take a pitching wedge and roll it up with a pitching wedge, hopefully nice and close, and take my bogey. Okay, that's alright. That's my mistake. A little bit of bad luck with that bounce, but that's okay. We'll take the double. Hopefully we can make a birdie somewhere else. Okay, so obviously not too pleased about the double, but you know, the thing is, we understand that's a 500-yard hole. It's already tough if you are comfortable with what you're doing. We did get a bit of a bad bounce, but we did miss it on the right, which is unexpected, but it's okay. I'm just going to carry on doing what I'm doing. Now is the most important time to just regroup. I'm playing off the black, so the holes are very long. This is again over 200 yards, but it's good for me to try this with a longer club, because those are the ones I've been struggling with to get this right on the range. So it's just nice to be out here trying these swings with the longer clubs here. Okay, that one's a bit right again, so we're starting to lose them right, which is a good sign. It means I'm just getting those hips through nicely, and I'm a little bit scared to use the hands and release it, but I'm happy with that shot. So we've ended up just pin high right over here. Very happy I got over the bunker. I wasn't expecting it, but I guess because I rotated properly, I got the right strike on it. So yeah, let's see if we can just two-putt that for par. Good hole to be putting for birdie. Take the two-putt, no problem. Par is always good. Yeah, so this one's an interesting one. I can normally reach, it's a short little par 4, only 300 yards. But as you can see, there's a lot of trouble on the right there. There's trouble left as well if you do pull it. So I'm just going to hit a 5-iron, which is about 200 yards, 220 yards max down this wind. It's 225 to that bunker, so I'm just going to hit a nice smooth 5-iron and make sure I get it in the fairway. That'll just leave me a little wedge in. I'm much more comfortable hitting that, taking the pressure off and trying to make 4. Yep, safety first. So yeah, we're in the middle of the fairway. We've got 144 yards, 142, excuse me. I'm just going to take a nice pitching wedge. That's about my 150 club. And just, yeah, see if I can get this on the center of the green with that same feeling in the swing. I'm taking a bit more club every time because I'm just not striking them as good as I normally would. So just taking that into account and trying to keep it consistent. Yep, that's good. Front of the green, birdie chance. So on the front of the green here, which is okay. I've just done what I wanted to do. I've started it online, struck it okay. I'm a touch short, but that's okay. I think for the first few weeks, you know, I'm going to get used to these distances. Eventually it will pick up when I get more confidence with those hips. But for now, as long as I'm hitting fairways and greens, I'm very happy. Good 4 again. Happy with that. Another simple little putt for par, so that's all I want. Try and get those fairways and greens. Okay, again, very tough little hole. 193 yards into the breeze again. I've got a 5-iron, that's my longest iron. I like this because it puts me under pressure to really trust that move, so I'm going to try and go a little bit more with that left hip and just try and get myself motivated to just stick to this process and really trust it, because I need a good strike to clear that water. Okay, it's a bit short and right, but I did exactly what I wanted to and we're safe there. We can still make par. Very challenging hole, so 3 is a good score. Right, so I'm just on the fringe of the green, or just before the green there on the right. It was the right club, just a little bit to the right, and obviously that wind hit it. But still happy I'm safe on a 200-yard par 3 into the wind. I'm going to try and give myself the best chance possible for par. And if not, it's okay. At least we're following that process and we're sticking to it. Take that. Saving myself again. Happy with the 3. Job's done. So all we needed here was a 3. So just by playing safe and committing to that shot, we've probably saved ourselves at least 2 shots there. Instead of trying to hit it too hard with the arms and the hands like I used to, I just stuck to that process with the hips. And I've decided, if it's missing, I need to miss on the right side of the green. Obviously there I picked the perfect spot because I had an easy chip. And yeah, every now and then you hit a good one and then you leave yourself 2 foot for par and it's easy. So yeah, sometimes you don't always have to hit all the greens. If you're missing it in the right spots, you're definitely going to score. So very, very important thing to remember is just miss in the right place. So another tricky hole, 400 yarder, lots of trouble, but I'm going to go with driver and see if I can trust that again and just really feel those hips rotating. That's all I'm going to think about. Pick my spot and rotate properly. No other thoughts. Leaking right a little bit, but okay, it's in the fairway. At least I trusted it. It wasn't my best swing, but it's gone pretty much where I wanted to. Right, so very happy with that. There was a miss hit. Again, a little bit downwind, 130 yards, so about 125 meters. It's downwind. I'm just going to take a pitching wedge again. Normally I would probably go gap wedge or 50, but because I'm not quite striking it again, I'm just going to make sure of strike and make sure I get it back there to that pin. Again, not going to turn as fiercely with the hips here. I'm going to try and keep the lower half just very passive and use the chest. Lovely shot. About 10 foot right of the pin. Okay, so not a bad result. It actually rolled on a bit. I think it just didn't get that stop because it was downwind. But yeah, at least we've got another chance for a birdie, so very happy with that. And yeah, I think 1 club more for now is definitely the play for me, because like I said, the strike isn't quite as consistent, but at least we're giving ourselves chances, we're hitting greens, and we're also playing within ourselves, which is very important if you want to score well and be consistent. Is not to go at 100% the whole time. Another birdie chance, so let's see if we can knock this one in. Beautiful little par 5. 520 yards into the breeze. Again, most of the trouble's on the right, so I'm just going to be aiming it at that left bunker. It's about 290 yards. Into the breeze I don't think I'll reach, so I think that's a safe target for me. Lost it right. In the bunker, but it's okay. Previously I would have definitely lost that more right, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's getting better. Maybe just a little bit of timing with those hips now. I'm clearing them a lot better, I can feel, but I think I'm just not trusting that I can release that club, because I used to have a problem with hitting it right to left. So I'm pretty happy with that result. If that's a bad shot, it's still in play. Not exactly where I want, but at least we can make birdie from there still. Here we are in the bunker. We've still got quite a long way left. About 250 yards. It's lying very nicely. I'm not going to try anything fancy, especially because I'm not swinging it too well. I'm going to hit something that goes 150. I'm going to go 2 clubs extra because it's into the wind, and then obviously I'm not guaranteed a perfect strike out the sand, so I'm going to go with 8. I would normally hit a pitching wedge, but because of the wind and the lie in the sand, I'm probably going to take an 8-iron and just try and punch it up there and hopefully leave myself my favorite yardage of 100 yards in. Again, with these fairway bunker shots, it's a lot like the pitch shots. I'm not going to go as aggressive with my hip back and through. I'm going to just feel like I'm turning my chest more and trying to pick that ball cleanly off the sand. Perfect. Caught it a bit thin, but if you do catch those a bit thin and there's not a high lip, they'd still go pretty much the same distance, if not a bit further. And that's worked out great. So it's better to hit it thin than hit the sand, so I'm happy with that. Right, so as I said, I've hit that a bit thin. It's gone a little bit further than I wanted it, but it's still okay. It's 90 yards, and it actually is better for me into that wind. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a sand wedge and just hit it very smooth, nice rhythmical pitching swing, instead of trying to hit a flat out 60 into this wind. I see a lot of guys doing that, and it just gets up too high on them, and the wind picks it up and it ends up short plugged in that bunker. So I'm just going to go long of that bunker at all costs and hopefully get the direction and the strike right, so we can give ourselves a nice birdie chance. It's a little bit long, but we've avoided the bunker. We're just over the back of the green, so give ourselves a chance for a chip and a putt. Got it very nicely, so I'm pretty happy with the strike. Maybe the wind died or something, but I'm okay with that. At least I've got a chance for par. So another tough one into the breeze, 570 yards. No chance of reaching today, so I'm just going to play it up at those bunkers on the left and focus on just trying to get myself a very easy third shot in. So it's all about just putting this in position. Take that, pass it straight. There's still 300 left. We're nicely just off the fairway, probably 2 meters left of the fairway. 300 yards left. I'm just going to take a 5-iron and punch it out there, try and get it to about 120 yards into this breeze. I'm gonna hit slightly more down on this one because of that thick grass, but feeling the same thing. Making sure those hips are rotating. Slipped a bit, but it's straight. That's all we want. Okay, so hit that one really nicely. Probably the best I've hit today. And it's left me about 95 yards into the wind again. So I'm going to hit that same shot with a 54. We know it went long on the last hole, but this one is a bit more uphill, so it should be the right club for the shot. Very nice way to finish. Hopefully we can tap that one in. Birdie. I'll take that one any day. So yeah, I guess the message for this week's video is just to, I want everyone to go out there and do what their coaches have told them, and make sure you repeat that on the golf course. This is going to make sure that you don't revert back to your old ways and revert back to your bad habits and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just gonna help you be confident that what you are doing with your pro and what you're working on the range, you can actually repeat on the golf course. Because so many times I see guys just go back to their old ways, and that's the biggest problem, and that's why you don't improve quick enough. So just stick to the process, go out there, don't focus on your score, focus on one feeling that you are doing with your coach. Play 9 holes, just play a practice round, forget about your score, and I think you'll actually be surprised at how good your score can be. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.